Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Players Lounge at Clemson. I'm your host, Darian Rencher, and today, once again, it'll be your favorites, current players, former players, and special guests. Today, switching up a little bit. Y'all been used to all the football guys coming on the show, so we're definitely switching up. But I feel like now you definitely an adopted son of Clemson family. You're not just a first right born, but adopted son who just went on a crazy run. Today, we're joined by Clemson basketball point guard Joe Girard.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys having me.
Come on, what up?
Fairly nice to meet you guys actually in person now.
I know. We locked in. Look, it's nice to meet you as well, bro.
Yes,
but we're just going to talk about what just happened, bro. Y'all went on I mean, I've been on the other side, but I haven't been a fan of a run at Clemson. And so for me, bro, I was geeked, bro. Just seeing the whole thing happen. But just tell me about the turning run.
I mean, it's still hard to believe right now and to actually think. It almost doesn't feel like it's over, you know, cause you just went through that, and you're all on highs of highs when you're winning these games. You're playing in the Sweet 16, playing in Elite 8, playing in Crypto Arena where LeBron and Kobe and all those guys have been. So right now it doesn't feel so real, but in the moment, it's hard to describe the feeling of it really. And I think the best thing that helped us get through it is we kept telling each other we can make history. We're gonna make history. This, that, and the other thing. And it really just propelled us through. But I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling, and I still pinching me right now probably wouldn't even make me feel better.
No, I know, bro. I mean, so for me, obviously, I think Clemson has been deemed a football school. So people always Clemson football. So just to see basketball start getting the deserved recognition, and just as a fan, I'm a hooper at heart. We talked about earlier. It's as a football, I grew up playing basketball, so hooper at heart. I was excited to see, and we'll get into the rest of the stuff later. Just even how all the adversity y'all went through this season, and to see that kind of be the outcome, and to see y'all rally for Brownell.
Right.
Bro, I was in Jacksonville. We're glued to the TV, bro. We're every game, what time is Clemson playing? We locked in. Just what was the excitement? I mean, you kind of talked about just the feeling, but just the excitement of okay, each game one step closer.
It was huge, and I think like you kind of just said, we had everybody's support, which was amazing. And I think that was one of the things that for me personally, not to get too far ahead, but I fell in love with Clemson because of how much support they really have from their fans, and just driving down the street, you see Clemson paws, on the road. There's just so much support, so much branding that comes with being a Clemson Tiger. Yeah. And we saw it, full force during that tournament run. There was people, obviously, the marching band, the cheerleaders, the donors, the fans that were all there at the hotels, sending us out on the bus before we would go to the game. And it's just little stuff like that you might not get everywhere else. Right. And it just shows Clemson family really is a thing. And it helped us so much throughout that run. We wanted to not only do it for ourselves, like you said, do it for Coach Brownell, just for all the stuff he has to hear sometimes throughout every season, and just obviously the fans who have been there all the way back since the end of October when we had our first exhibition game. So it's there was a lot of people we were doing it for that is bigger than ourselves, and it just made it so much fun.
No, for sure, but y'all definitely made us proud. I think that I was a proud alum. I'm telling you, I was dang, okay, I'm locked in every second. I'm yelling at the TV like it's a football game. Bro, let's go.
I love it, man. I love it. We had support from the football team too. I mean, just the video they made before the Sweet 16 game, cheering us on, all those guys. It was just little stuff like that will make this so many memories, that you'll have forever. And it was just so much fun. I can't even, like I said, describe it right now.
All right, walk me through. So, and keep it real now. So, y'all, all right, coming off the season,
right?
Pizza party.
Yeah.
Y'all get accepted. Okay, that feeling, and then start walking me through each timeline because now I believe you said, but obviously you go into it, we're gonna do our best.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? No, did we expect to get that far? I know each game we expect to win that game.
Yeah.
But then what was the expectation kind of going into the tourney?
I think for us, honestly, all year the expectation was to at least get to a Sweet 16, and I mean. You can't put that in your heads, but in November, obviously. But we heard all the talk in the offseason about how great this team was. Obviously, these guys had a lot of people coming back, and that's why I was so excited to join this kind of roster and this team. But honestly, I could say it from June. Coach Brownell was talking about Final Four, and he really was. He was mentioning this team has the potential to get there. We got a lot of players, a lot of coaches back that know the system and know the ability to kind of get there. Yeah. And he had been talking about that since June. And obviously you don't talk about it every single day. You bring it up in bigger moments after you beat UNC at UNC, after you beat Alabama at Alabama, those kinds of things. You guys got to understand, you have the potential to do some big things. And I think that's why so many times in that stretch of January where we were really struggling. It was kind of frustrating for a lot of us, and obviously Coach Brownell, because he talked about, like I said, all the way back in June, how good this team had the potential to be, and he didn't want to waste it.
Yeah.
So obviously in that March Madness, you know, at the end of the season, we kind of knew we were in the tournament, didn't know where, and then at the party, the March Madness party, it was just kind of a sigh of relief. You know, although you kind of know you're in, but like once you finally hear your name, it's like you get goosebumps, you know.
Correct.
And it's so amazing. But then at that time, we just came off a 20-point loss to Boston College in the ACC tournament.
Right.
So it's like we're still feeling a little bit of that. And I think God always has a plan for everyone. Like, we lost that game, and then 9 days later, we had a 9-day break until we had to play that first game. And during those 9 days, nothing was easy. Like, we had probably the hardest practices we had all year, some of the toughest conversations we had all year with each other. And, like, it was the best thing for us, honestly. Right. And then we play a team like New Mexico who just won their conference tournament in the Mountain West, which had 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. So we're like, great, we get another draw here with a great team. You know what I mean? But we went out there, we beat them handedly. Like, we didn't. We were only. I don't think we were losing the whole game, and that kind of sparked us for a little magical run. And I think that's what you need the most in March is like
you need a little luck.
Momentum. Exactly.
Sweeney says that even all the playoff runs, like you gotta be good enough.
Yeah,
that's part of it. But then you also the ball. I mean, like obviously
it's got to bounce your way.
Correct.
Like there's just and on all sports you need a little bit of luck, and I think that we got that obviously. And then from that game on, though, we just had so much momentum. Like, you know, playing Baylor in the next round. Baylor's in the Big 12, best conference in college basketball, according to many people. Yeah. And we handedly beat them as well. So it was just like the whole March Madness run. And then obviously playing Arizona in the Sweet 16, which was basically a home game for them, you know, playing in L.A. Yeah. Winning that one, and then obviously losing, unfortunately, to Alabama in the Elite Eight, which is a team that, you know, we played earlier in the year and won on their home court. But March is all about runs. Like you said, luck. And a lot of madness. You know, it's kind of March Madness for a reason. But it was just so much fun, man. So much fun.
But even that game, I think the proudest moment, even as like as a fan or like a supporter of the Clemson Family Athletics, is we didn't get that far and like we didn't belong.
Exactly.
You know, like that's one thing. So if you get to the Elite Eight, then we just get smacked.
Yeah, it's not fun, and you don't want to remember it. But and it's a team that we beat earlier in the year, so it's so frustrating to have to play them again in that big of a moment. But I mean, obviously they show that they were legit too because they played UConn probably the best out of anybody in the whole tournament. So it was a great team and it was a fun matchup and it was just fun to make. You know, first Elite Eight in I think 40 years or something, 44 years for Clemson.
It's the first, whatever. All I know is history.
Yeah,
y'all definitely etched yourselves in Clemson basketball history for sure. And then just get into that. Tell me, I mean, we can. I definitely want to get into it because for me, I went to school with Abby Brownell.
Okay.
So we were in class together.
Yeah.
So I've kind of seen like the whole family trajectory for a long time. And I mean, it's kind of like, it's a big boy game. Like this ain't volunteer coaching or volunteer. You know, this is there's a lot of money involved. There's commitments and people have expectations for things. And there's obviously been, like I said, a lot of like, all right, we want to see this. We haven't seen this. Some of it warranted, but some of it was also just craziness with Coach Brownell because he's been solid. Yeah. And to me, what the coolest part was to see, because coming off the season, there was a lot of speculation what was going to happen.
Of course. Right.
And to see y'all rally the way y'all did. Yeah. For y'all selves, but also for him. Right. Was special. Just tell me about your relationship with Coach Brownell and then just how y'all felt for him as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's unbelievable. You know, he's been here. I think he's either the second or third longest tenured coach in the ACC, and like that kind of speaks for itself because, especially in today's college basketball, where guys are getting new jobs and new transfer portal, all this kind of stuff each and every day, like that's to be talked about. And you know, he's been successful. I forget the stats, but you know, he's been to the Sweet 16 twice in the last 6 years, and there's not many schools that have done that either. Yeah. So. I mean, he's a better person than he is a coach, and he's obviously a great coach, and I mean that. And, you know, he's done a lot for players on and off the court. He has such a relationship with each and every single guy, knows all the managers' names, knows all the support staff's names. Like, he really is about life over basketball. Yeah. And I think that's what makes him so great. But, you know, we wanted to do it for him. And, you know, again, I'll go back to that January stretch. Like, we were awful in January, and that's kind of when a lot of the Brownell talk, you know, started again because we did have such a great team. Right. And, you know, we were losing, and as players, we try to, you know, tell each other, like, it's not Coach's fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even, you know, all these people are going to be talking about Coach, but it's really on us. And we kind of flipped it again in February and then obviously did what we did in March. But he's an unbelievable guy. He's done so much for Clemson. He should be here for forever, honestly.
He might have punched his ticket, brother.
Yeah, and he deserves every cent of it. Honestly, he's unbelievable. I in the portal he told me about, like, I don't want this to be use a 4-month relationship, because that's basically what it is.
Correct.
He wants to be a 40-year relationship,
Wow.
and he really means it. And I'll be in contact with Brownell for forever, and he's done so much for me in this short little time that I can still trust him for the rest of my life.
Right. No, yeah, I think it's like that was the coolest part for me to see, because you get on Twitter, you get on online, and you start. Hey, Clemson fans, look, it's a family now. Look, they are passionate people.
They are, man. They are
for every sport. And look, Sweeney didn't get the brunt of this. He caught something this year.
Yeah.
And they do care, and obviously there's always a part of. So I feel like these conversations are so good. There's always a part that fans always see, like, the best parts of everything. Like,
exactly.
They see the winning,
they see the
run.
scenes, yeah.
But there's obviously so much that goes into it, and sometimes, even like similar to the football season last year, there's so much. Like, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Maybe it's a game.
Ball don't bounce your way sometimes.
Yeah, correct. And it's like it's not always super telling of what the actual story is, of how the coaching is, or how the team is. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully you do get time like the Sweet 16 or the turning round where y'all get to actually tell the true story of what the team is. Yeah. What would you tell about just joining the team? I mean, you're a vet.
Yeah.
So just speak to, like, the weapons. Like, I look at Chase, obviously PJ. Yeah. How was it playing with all those guys this year?
It was unreal, and I mean that was part of the reason I wanted to come here. I went to the Sweet 16 with Syracuse my sophomore year, and I've been itching to get back since. And when I entered the portal, like, that's what I was kind of telling these schools. I was like, I want to go somewhere I know I'm gonna have a great chance of making a March run.
Right.
And Coach Brownell and Coach Donlin, who I had a previous relationship from high school when he was at Michigan, recruiting me, they came to have an in-home visit with me in the transfer portal, and just kind of were bragging about the locker room. And like, you hear that everywhere from every coach about how great these kids are, this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, all right, like, it's kind of cliche. I hear it all the time.
Right.
But I eventually, visited here and, like, saw it and, like, saw how great these kids were with each other and how great they were just as kids. Like, it just wanted me to be a part of it. And I wanted to go somewhere where, like, I could have fun on and off the court, hang around with the guys in the locker room, in the lounge room, play pool, do all this stupid stuff.
Right.
But, like, that's what college is about that experience and stuff. And I wanted to have a great experience on and off the court. And that's besides the fact of how good they are on the court.
Facts.
Because, like you said, Chase, PJ, Chef, Jack, who helped us a lot this year, RJ, Chauncey, all those guys, Dylan, Josh, like, all those guys who came off the bench for us was, like, a lot of the reason we were winning in March. We had people to come in who it really wasn't like a downfall when we got subbed out of the game as starters.
Right.
Like, those guys, just, like, it was just a complete team, and, like, it's hard to find that nowadays because there is so many transfers, and, like, you'll get 2 or 3 guys who are, all-stars and studs, but to have, like, the 9 or 10 guys that we could have put in the game and, like, actually trusted to, like, help us out,
right? Like,
you don't get that everywhere, and, that was why I was so excited to be a part of this team.
Tell me that, and then, yeah, bro, I look at the season, and like I said, the Chef became a fan.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, cooking it up, and then obviously PJ, to me, like you need y'all's nucleus of a team is kind of, I feel like, modern day. You need some guys like you to come in and do what you did. Mm-hmm. PJ's obviously homegrown, and has been in forever. Yeah. And it was cool to see, like, honestly, your story kind of end like that, where you, like, kind of get a cherry on top of college basketball experience. Same for him.
No, for sure.
Because he's been through.
Yeah. He's been here this is his 4th year, and this is Chase's 5th year. He's seen it all from, for 5 years now. And then I think the best part about it for all those guys who came back last year was, like, the sour taste they had at the end of last year. Mm-hmm. Like, they made the NIT, should have been in the tournament. I said that before I even entered the portal. Like, I said that when I was still at Syracuse. Like, I couldn't believe Clemson didn't make the tournament last year. And obviously lose the first round of the NIT, and, like, it was just a bad taste for everybody. And, like, nobody wanted to kind of experience that because they all felt they should have been in the tournament too, and nobody, like, it was just bad. Right. And to come back this year and, like, make the tournament for those guys as well, like, it was like I said, like you said, the cherry on top. And those guys had an unbelievable run, and it was just so much fun being a part of it with them. But it was also a lot, kind of like a revenge tour for them.
Facts. Bro, talk about the team. Let's get on to you, bro, because look, all I know is I was watching the game. I was like, that white boy can shoot. Look, tell me about your game. Who do you model your game after? Who do you look up to?
So I went to the same high school that Jimmer Fredette did. So
that makes a lot of sense.
So Jimmer Fredette grew up a few blocks over from me. Obviously, he's much older than I am, but that was who when I was in elementary school, he was. My dad was the girls varsity coach at Glens Falls, and he was on the boys team.
Wow.
So, like, I was so young, I don't really remember it much.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, when Jim Romania took over at BYU, I was of age to kind of remember basketball and all that kind of stuff. Right. And I was like, it looks pretty fun, like what this guy's doing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I want to be able to do that one day. So that's kind of the guy who paved the way for me, set the path really for me.
Yeah.
I still talk to him to this day. He's going to play in the 3-on-3 Olympics now, so I'm excited to watch him do that.
That's dope.
But anytime he's back in Glens Falls and I'm back there, we work out together. But he's mentored me off the court, on the court, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, really just paved the way for me to kind of chase after something and see what it takes to really get there.
Y'all got similar play style because you shoot some shots where I'm like,
Oh, you're like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah. That was
Yeah.
a good shot. That was a good shot. So take me through the mentality, because you be jacking.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, you go.
And,
but I respect it because I'm like, look, my boy got confidence.
yeah, exactly. And that's what it comes down to. My dad played Division II basketball for John Beeline, who was the coach at Michigan for a while, and then was coaching the NBA. But my dad had set all these 3-point records, and he taught me everything I know in basketball. Yeah. So my dad, I was in the gym for countless hours with him, obviously growing up, all throughout high school, and he taught me everything you know. But the biggest thing for a guy like me, who's not the biggest, fastest, strongest guy out there ever, like you got to have confidence.
Yeah.
And I think that's carried me throughout my whole career is, just having mind over matter and really believing in myself to kind of achieve all these goals and things. But without all the hard work, I always tell people, like, these are shots I actually practice.
Yeah.
Like, my coaches are like, they see it in the gym. They work on me with it. Like, these are shots I actually practice. It's not like something going out in the game and trying to do something new. Like, if you don't practice it, you probably shouldn't do it in the game. I'm sure it's the same with football. You know what I mean? So these are things I actually practice and work on. And, that's why I do have confidence to do them in the game.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I mean, I feel like the game of basketball has changed too. I mean, obviously the last decade where
Jimmer and Steph, honestly.
Exactly, like seeing the long ball be like almost an exciting play is as much as a dunk.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I think, like I said, Jimmer obviously, and then Steph Curry took it a whole new level, and he's just so much fun to watch. But I think the 3-point ball has definitely changed the game of basketball for the better, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure. Tell me about. Get into just your Clemson experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously the phone call with Sweeney was one of the things people saw, but
yeah.
you kind of alluded to y'all's relationship even prior to that.
Yeah.
Tell me about just obviously coming to Clemson, meeting Coach Sweeney.
So I was a big football guy, big football fan, loved everything about it.
Hold on, tell the people. Look. We just learned this now. All right, so he was coming in here. He was like, man, I played a little football back in the day. I'm like, all right, everybody says that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played a little football back in the day. He's like, okay. I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, I actually had a couple offers. I'm thinking it's like, I don't name no schools, but some small schools that,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I had Tulane, I had Wake. I'm like, hold on now. We could have been playing you the past couple years.
Yeah, I mean, football was great for me. It was a great sport to obviously, complement basketball just with point guard and, quarterback. But yeah, I had Tulane offer, then talked to schools like Wake, Indiana, Syracuse a little bit till Coach Boeheim shut that down.
Yeah.
But it's a few other high majors. Like, football was just fun for me. Like, I really loved football and the team atmosphere of it, and just like the whole adrenaline you get throughout a week. Friday Night Lights was like unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like that whole week, you're preparing for a game on Friday night in front of all the people you grew up with and stuff like that. Like, that was just fun for me. But football was a lot of fun. I wish I could have played it, still to this day. But it was something I'll remember forever. Those memories.
Playing though, but you really could have. We was short for a couple quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Look, you could have been there, been QB4, QB3.
That's what I said. I wanted to call Coach Sweeney one day and just say, hey, can I run out down the hill maybe with you guys and be on the headset or something?
Tell me about like your relationship with Coach. Obviously, he's fun. Everybody, like, what you see is what you get, what you love him. But obviously, he's a hooper at heart too.
He is. I played him in a game of horse. He is.
He got a little jumper on him too.
Yeah, he does. He
gonna talk some.
He's the man. He really is. He's obviously a legend for what he's done on you guys on the football field. But again, kind of like Brownell, like off the court, they're just so unbelievable. Like they really are people that like you can go and talk to and have relationships with. But all the way back to when I started getting recruited a little bit, just starting to be able to interact with Coach Sweeney and have the ability to know someone like that. And then obviously I got pretty close with his son Clay, who's still here. And just being able to interact with those guys, like him calling me after just some big wins or texting me, like I'm like, holy cow, like this is Dabo Sweeney, you know what I mean?
He's geek though. He goes a lot of games.
Yeah,
like he really is a basketball fan at heart.
Yeah, he loves it, and that's what I loved about him is like he's just like a true person. Like he really is true to himself. He's true to Clemson and loves supporting people in different ways. So that's a relationship and connection that I'm so thankful for to have. Hopefully for the rest of my life.
For sure.
But he's an unbelievable guy, and it's been really fun to get to know him and his family. And I'm sure I'll be able to or I'm sure I'm going to go to a lot of Clemson football games whenever my playing days are over, just because of Coach Sweeney.
Definitely got to pull up. Tell me this. So we get into you're a vet, and obviously you see a lot of teams, and y'all got yourself, PJ's leaving, whoever else is leaving.
Yeah.
And then what do you see for Clemson basketball? Because obviously, I mean, the narratives is still a football school, but like basketball's earned some well-deserved respect and over like a long time. So what do you see for the future of Clemson basketball?
It's going to be great. I mean, those guys, Coach Brownell has really built a culture here that is able to be sustainable. Like, it's able to, keep kids here for a while who aren't just going to be one-and-dones. It's a lot of 4-year, 5-year guys who are going to be able to compete and be successful at the higher level, especially in, Division I basketball in the ACC. But there's going to be a lot of, especially next year, just because I've obviously known these guys, but I'm not going to tell anybody's story, whatever they're doing, but I know PJ actually has like an extra year. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he'll obviously test the draft or whatever. Chase still has another year.
Right.
So I know a lot of these guys still have extra years. And then obviously, like I said, all the starters, whenever we came out, it wasn't like there was a drop-off, really with our bench. And those guys are all back. They were all sophomores this past year. So Clemson's in a really great spot. Coach Brownell's done a great job building this culture, and I don't see it going down anytime soon. And I think the only way it can go really is up.
Facts. I agree. What's next for the boy? Like, what do you see next for yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce this ball until it goes flat.
Come on. So
I'm gonna play wherever it is as long as I can, and then get into coaching after. So I want to play be in basketball for as long as I can. It's the only thing I really know, and it's the only thing I really want to do. So I'm gonna play as long as I can. I've been training here in Clemson. Hopefully get invited to some of these senior combines and stuff to kind of get my name out there a little bit, and then just do some of the NBA workouts with some teams hopefully. But just get my name out there and try and make it anyone I can.
Yeah. Tell me this. Maybe you don't have a alliance or affinity. Are you so like when you say now, like if you say you get drafted, or we go play overseas, what school is going to be there for Joe? Because like look,
I'll say it's going to be Orange. How about that? Either Clemson.
No, fair enough. I don't know if we switched all the way over.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you do a slash? Can you do both?
You'll get a slash. You'll get a slash. You definitely got a lot of alliance to both.
Yes, sir.
If you could tell the Clemson fans anything. Like obviously you've got a short but very like just also a lot in a little bit of time. But if you could tell the Clemson fans anything just about the Clemson family.
I would just say thank you so much, honestly. Like you guys took me in like I was here for my whole 5 years, really. And so I owe all the thanks to these guys. I've heard, this past week, like just thank you so much to me. And my reply back isn't you're welcome, it's thank you. Right. Like really, Clemson has done so much for me. Honestly, it's changed my body. Like, I did I completely changed my body, nutrition, diet, all that kind of stuff, and just the way I kind of played a little bit. So in terms of basketball, like thank you to all those guys. They've done so much for me. And then the Clemson family, like the community and the fans were just so supportive. Like through the ups and downs, they really were there for us the whole time. And they showed up to every single game, whether it was home or away. So I think Clemson's everywhere, and I've really appreciated my time, and it wouldn't have happened without the people around.
Yeah, man. Look, I think that what y'all did was electric, and it really did rile up every Clemson fan. Yeah, and it was just cool. Like winning's important.
Yeah, winning's a great cure.
Yeah, it's just important. Like you really get to see like winning does cure all. If you could give, it hasn't happened yet, but I gotta assume it's coming out like pipeline. If you could give a message for Keep Brownell, what would you say?
To keep Brownell? I mean, you'd be crazy not to. That man's done so much. Honestly, like I said, he really is a better person than he is even as a coach. Yeah. And he's probably, I played for a Hall of Famer and Coach Jim Boeheim, and he's probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. But Brownell, in terms of like X's and O's, is up there with anybody. And that really helps you in terms of making a deep run in March because you need to have X's and O's. And I think if you look at the Arizona game, we probably won the game based on out of bounds.
No, that play. Yeah.
All those plays out of bounds plays and all those plays like where we were just getting mismatches for PJ to dunk, slip to the rim and dunk it. Like that's all Brownell drawing it up in the huddle and stuff, and like all the practice we've done. So Brownell's done so much for this place. His culture that he's built, you won't get it anywhere else, and I can promise you that. And he's the man for the Clemson Tigers.
Come on, well, look, there you have it. Another great episode. Look, I'm glad you came to Clemson.
Yeah, me too, man.
Look, I'm glad you came here, brother. But it's been a good episode. Joe, thank you for coming on, bro. If you tune in this far, like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Continue to tune in. But hopefully you enjoy another great episode. Signing off, Darian Rincher.
Appreciate it, man. Joe Girard.
Come on.
Appreciate it, bro.
That was great.
A lot of fun.